it takes for it, pouring salt into the world, willing to erase what I'd lose for it, to accept what I assume. So I'm pulling the anchor and drifting away, blinded by reason beyond disarray. It's what fire cannot burn. It's what fire cannot
Yeah! Tuesday night. Like I say, it's like my Friday night. Only less Uber rides. Because I'm home. St. Ricketts with Fire Cannot Burn, www.saintricketts.com. It is your Tuesday night introduction theme song lead-in to the 100% live episode of The Yo Show.
Yep.
You. I am Jeff the Shark Perini, and I got to tell you once again, I am more than proud to announce that I'm sick. Yeah. Although I did test negative for COVID. Thank you very much. With me, as always, she is the co-hostess with the mostest. She is the sister from another mister, and she is the cat tamer extraordinaire. Let's give it up for Jewel Tatey. Jewel, good evening.
Good evening, Jeff. I'm sorry you're not feeling well again.
I'm alive. I sucked down yet another large cup of hot tea before we got on the show. Now it's time.
He sounds like a different person. Like, you don't even sound like yourself.
Maybe more people will watch. People will be like, hey, it's not that guy.
It's like Phoebe with Smelly Cat. It's like, gonna get sick more often.
I lost it. Oh, God, it's terrible. My senses are heightened. Yeah, basically, maybe people will skim by it and be like, that's not the regular guy. Maybe we should watch and see what it's all about. When I heard that squeaky voice guy.
Disguise.
So anyway, we are here. Another terrific Tuesday night, The Yo Show, as you know. Voted a top 50 program in the world by the Los Angeles and New York Weekly Times. Bucks County's #1 program. Jeff the Shark Perini, on a poll that was taken out of 1 million. Listen now. 1 million podcast hosts. I was on there somewhere.
Okay.
I have no idea where.
Man.
Yeah.
Something.
My man, making it happen. There's so many podcasts and webcasts and broadcasts and stories, and we do our little thing here. And a lot of people are watching. It's fun, because it's not about being snooty or snobby or snotty. I got to tell you what, though. Later on in the show, we're going to talk a little bit about Super Bowl halftime. Man, the names people were calling.
You better stop. Because first of all, you've been using my name to trash my man, and I don't appreciate that.
I did?
You did. All over Facebook. You're like, halftime show sucked. That's not my opinion.
No, we're going to have your opinion. We're going to get yours, too. I'll tell you why later. When it comes time to it, we will talk about it. And I'll tell you why. And you're going to be like, well, all right. I mean, you're not going to agree. I know that's your growing up. That's your music. It's not necessarily not my music. Like, I like the performers, but we'll get to that later on the program.
Okay, we'll see.
What a great program we have as well. First of all, let's thank last week's guest, the lovely Temple cheerleader, Miss Lindsay Moppert. She was outstanding. Love her. Just adorable. Rough technical issues, but we made it work. And a massive thank you, if they eventually see this, to the band Sepsis, of course, out of New England. Our good friends. We had Melissa and Cam on a few weeks ago for an interview, and since then they've made us part of their family as well as they're part of our family. We got our first ever Twitch raid, and these people start popping up, and we're like, "Is that spam?" Like all these wild comments, and we're like, "No, you guys are being raided." So it added a great bunch of viewers. Got us the most love we ever got on Twitch. So we'll get there.
I enjoy the raids. Keep them coming.
Absolutely. If anybody else,
the first one was scary. I didn't know what was happening. Now I'm prepared.
Exactly. I kind of thought we were totally taken over. Like, well, I guess we're done for the night. And I tried to delete the one comment, and it stuck there. I'm like, hardcore hacking. Who survived? So thank you to Sepsis, of course. Melissa Wolf runs the Twitch page and a lot of social media for the band, and she was responsible for it. We thank you. We love you, Melissa. You're awesome. Jewel, it's belated, but I want to wish you a happy Valentine's Day. I mean, you are the platonic love. My actual love, my wife, ran me ragged this weekend in preparation. Maybe that's part of the reason why I'm sick. We didn't actually do anything yesterday, but we did dinner over the weekend, and we went out over the weekend and drinks and the whole 9 yards. A big hello to our good friend Stephanie Bertolato. If you're out there watching or watch on delay, pleasure to finally get to hang with you. Next time, Jewel will be there, and we'll get together and hang out. Great time. She's a wonderful person. I met her mom. Her mom's a good dancing machine. Met a couple of her friends. Great time at the new Going Company, the one in Port Richmond, is it? Port Richmond. The real big one. Like they bought like this gigantic hall and sectioned it off. It's massive. We're gonna go soon. You definitely want to see, because Cassie wants to go again. And you got to check it out. It's big. They got a lot, and they're gonna have an upstairs bar. It's really a great time. So we had a good time with that. DJ Ernesto spinning the tracks, playing a lot of like 90s rock, mixing with modern day dance music. Terrific, great time. You, on the other hand, if you'd like to share with us, you had a massive Sunday night. Hit us with it.
Yeah. Man, it was so last minute, too, because, of course, I wanted to see the Super Bowl. I watch every year, and big halftime show, so I was ready. But then Billie Eilish was in town, and my nephew got his girlfriend a ticket for Christmas. So this was months ago. He had no idea it was Super Bowl Sunday. But as like the minutes are ticking by, it's getting closer. I'm looking at Duck and I'm looking at Joey, and Duck and Joey are the biggest Billie Eilish fans. Like, Joey has loved her since she was 3, like singing all of her songs, knowing every word, and I love her too. So I'm like, it would be pretty awesome to go see Billie tonight. Yeah. So I just grabbed 3 tickets, last minute, and we just took off, and it was such a great show. She had such a good time. I was a little nervous bringing her to like a first big show. But
yeah, I thought about that the whole time. Like, you and her, like it's a little intimidating because of the size of the crowd. And I was watching your videos. Now I know Billie Eilish. I don't really know her music that well to pick it out of a video. And I'm like, I wonder what she's saying. And I couldn't, That's why I asked the next day, what were you saying? But man, that's a hell of a show. It's Super Bowl was, God, as a diehard football fan, it was kind of a boring game. A lot of people said it. The end was sloppy with a lot of bad penalties being called, and there was this nonsense that happened at halftime that we'll talk about later.
I like halftime for what it's worth, but Billie was awesome. I had her on the seat next to me most of the time so she could see, because
Billie?
Standing. Joey next to me, because she was dancing. Everyone was standing. It was kind of like church. She made everyone stand up and dance like most of the time. We had breaks. We got to sit down. She told everyone to sit. I tell you what, there are these 2 older men in front of us, and like they were jamming along. They were there for like their daughters or whatever. But
yeah,
she's like, "Get down! I want to see every parent, every grandparent, like get down on the floor." And they did. They were like, "Okay." But
yes,
it was great. I love all her songs and her voice. And this last album was just amazing. So
very cool. It's very. I was very excited to see it. You scan through social media, and I saw like a story come up, and I'm like, let me check it out. Very cool, and very cool for Joey to get. And that's the great thing about parenting when you're into music and concerts. You get broken in early. As a kid, my parents were dead set against concerts. My older brothers would go, but it was like not really the scene where like they would take me. So it took me a long time to get them.
Concert?
Oh, Jesus. My first concert was the Beastie Boys in 1980, I want to say 87.
Oh.
My first actual show was Kool and the Gang a long time ago in Atlantic City. Yeah, Kool and the Gang. My dad actually took me to it. He's like, I could live through this. And we saw it in Atlantic City. And I was very young. But then when I finally got my own, the Beastie Boys. It was actually the Beastie Boys, Murphy's Law, and Public Enemy. It was a great show. Yeah. That's where Public Enemy was really big. But I mean, man. And I knew of them because I had their first album. And they opened up. And I was just so into it. And a lot of people were like, look at suburbanite kid over here getting down like he's gangster. But man, I knew every Public Enemy word for word, and I loved it. What a great show. So that was my first.
Is it just I like Public Enemy.
Yeah, they got some very good songs. Tonight we got a great show. We got a terrific actress. She's an actress. She does improv. She's a writer. She also has her very own podcast now. The lovely Muretta Moss is going to be our special guest. Cannot wait. She looks lovely. Very excited for that. Of course, part of the representation of Lisa Katz and her great firm. So thank you again, Lisa, for the great guest. Always bring us great guests, Jewel. We are always very fortunate at who we get. Top 5 times, speaking of the Super Bowl, speaking of concerts, speaking of halftime, speaking of all this stuff. I guess I should have did a little different, but I didn't. I did it my way. Top 5 live performances that we've seen, either in person or on TV. Looks like all mine are TV, pretty much. I know there's one. But, yeah, just like, and thinking about the halftime show and thinking about the way things are done live, I figured, what the hell, let's get to stuff that we've seen live, either live in person or live performance on TV. And number 5, for me, a great moment later in life, the reunion of Pink Floyd at the Live 8 concert. I thought it was terrific. It was, the whole band packed together, except for Sid Barrett, of course. But the Pink Floyd lineup was back. They did an amazing set, all kind of hardships aside for that one moment, and just a great piece. And the witnessing on TV was outstanding. Pink Floyd at Live 8, number 5. Number 4, I did see live Billy Joel and Elton John at Veterans Stadium. They played a combined show. They came out and did each other's songs together. They did each other's songs separate. They did their own songs. Just an amazing show. Oh, what a great show.
Combined. Like, what? Come on.
I know. It's almost something you wish you could see it one more time. Although Elton John, I think, is pretty much retiring. But what a show, man. It's just like, it's almost like 2 identical guys going out and doing the same thing. So that shows like kind of like a class and courtesy and one to know, like, hey, we do the same thing, but let's share it. Number 3, one of my favorite videos. I watched this a million times. It's Led Zeppelin's Atlantic Records Party reunion. They had like Atlantic Records birthday celebration. It was a Led Zeppelin reunion. It turned into like a 2-hour concert. Fantastic. I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan. That was awesome. Number 3. Number 2, truly the best Super Bowl show of all time, the one and only Prince. Man, gigantic Prince fan, and you're reminded of him singing Purple Rain, In the Rain. Just, man, Prince. Number 2. Number 1 all time, I was young, but I remember it. And, of course, seeing the movie a couple of years back, Bohemian Rhapsody, of course, remember the amazing scene at Live Aid, Queen and Freddie Mercury, a show stealer, just incredible performance by one of the greatest live lead singers of all time, one of the best live bands of all time. Queen at Live Aid takes my number 1 spot. We pass it over to Jewel Tatey, and I got to get my pen ready because I never remember half these bands and names she says.
Well, I feel like you see that because I didn't know those will have to be, recorded performances. I thought what you saw live.
No, if it's still live, but on TV, like stuff like not like
best performances. I didn't go that route. I would have to think about that one. I just did best live performers that I've seen.
Excellent.
Sorry. And you probably know all these, but my first concert ever was John Denver. And
yes.
I believe 1997. I think it was the year he passed. But I love John Denver. My whole family does. What a great performer. And what a voice. And he's very missed. My dad used to have a Farm Aid bandana. And I used to rock it. I used to rock it to school all the time because it had all they weren't real signatures, but they were written in the signature in ink on the thing. But John Denver's name was in the front, and I used to think I was all cool wearing that bandana. Number 4, I've seen him like 8 or 9 times, but how can you not put Bruce on a live show?
Oh, of course.
I mean, after seeing Billy, I'm just like, everything is a walk in the park compared to a Bruce Springsteen concert. You're just partying on your feet, dancing, having a good time for 4+ hours. So it's not a show, it's an experience, and everyone should experience that. Number 3. I'm gonna give her the number 3 spot because even though she has the most amazing voice in the world, Maddie does a lot of the work. So I'm going to say Sia and number 3 because I was just so excited that I got to see her live. I never thought I would because she never shows her face. So I wasn't really sure if she would come around with like a tour of her own. She does a lot of
Wow.
collabs, but a couple years ago I finally got to see her live and she was brilliant in person. And number 2, Lana. I love, and Billie did so much of this. Like, first of all, props to Billie Eilish because she stopped the show, I would say, at least 6 times to check on the audience. One girl threw up.
Wow.
There was another fight tussle that broke out. She made sure everyone in that audience was safe. Seriously, she went.
A
Went
fight
to
at a Billie Eilish show.
It was like a tussle, like a shove match. But that's what happened at the what's his name? What's his Tiger?
Yeah.
Kylie's dude. So it's not that hard to do, people, just to check on your audience. And Billie did such a phenomenal job of that, all the while putting on a great show. But
Oh,
Lana
so
is, yeah.
everybody out there, okay? We're checking on the audience.
You okay?
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, me. You
We're good. Yeah, we're good. Go ahead.
But Lana is very much into the crowd, and she dives down there, and she stops the show just to take selfies with everyone in the front row, gets all
That's
her
pretty cool.
gifts. Like, I just love that. It feels like a more intimate show that way, and I love good people. Okay, number 1, I swear to God, I went to see him with Anger Management, so it was like Mobb Deep, MOP, 50 Cent, Pitbull, Lil Jon, all put on a great show, but no one was more clear and just so precise with every word. Like, it really was mechanical how he puts on a show, but Eminem, hands down, was the best show I've ever been to. And just being in the front row and seeing every little like thing go on was amazing. And he was
Maybe should have brought some of that last Sunday.
he did. He didn't get a chance. They only gave him one stupid song. One song.
It's
I
part.
think it be a medley of like.
It is all part of the discussion we're gonna have because, like I said, I'm not just throwing a blanket over rap music and saying it's done because it's rap music. Trust me, there's a lot of ins and outs. Very disappointing, but very good. Good list. Let's rehash them. Me again, number 5, Pink Floyd at Live 8, the reunion. Billy Joel and Elton John at Met Stadium, number 4. Number 3, Led Zeppelin's Atlantic Records birthday party reunion concert. Number 2, the best halftime show of all time, Prince. And number 1, Live Aid, Queen and Freddie Mercury. Terrific. Jewel came out with John Denver. I know that's like deep in your heart and soul. It's one of your all-time favorites. That's great. Bruce Springsteen at number 4. Sia at number 3. We'll get back to that in a second, the Sia thing. Number 2, Lana Del Rey. And number 1, Eminem. The Sia thing, you said she doesn't show her face. Is that like a thing where when she's on stage, you don't know if she's there? Does she cover it? Is she behind a blanket? Is she behind a curtain? Because I think we might have had this talking before, but I get curious because when you go see Tool or Perfect Circle, it's the same thing with Maynard Keenan. You don't know if Maynard's even there. And the one time he did half a show behind a curtain. And everyone's like, oh, he's not even here. And all of a sudden, like halfway through the show, curtain opens, here he comes. So you really don't know. Now, what is her MO with that? Is it similar?
You've seen the wig before, right? Like she has that huge wig.
Yeah.
So she wears a huge wig. You can see her mouth and her body, but yeah, like just her eyes are covered. And she has a reason behind it. Like she just doesn't want it to be about her looks, which it's about the music. And she went through a rough time when she did show her face. But I don't know. I'm just happy I got to see her live. But you could tell it was her, obviously.
Yeah. And that was the thing that everybody, that's the thing everybody did with Maynard. Like you see, like at the time he had like the long, like locks. He had his head shaved with like these long locks. And everyone's like, you see the locks? It's obviously him. You don't know that until he comes out. You saw a curtain and an image. You really know what the hell it was. But this is kind of neat.
It could have to be anyone, couldn't it?
Right. Not Choose in the house. Good evening, the Choose. Thank you for tuning in as always. Gotta make sure we can find the comments tonight because last week we couldn't. That was a disaster.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for right now. I'm like,
okay. Everybody's like yelling at me.
No one's watching.
There's some people. I got a few. But like I said, without the usual other formats that'll be back next week when Jeff's out of jail, most of our reviews are coming um, on recording, not so much as live, which is okay. We're here no matter what. A little nugget that we have to share. We don't like doing this on the show, but it's part of the show. It's part of entertainment. A rest in peace to the Ghostbusters director, Ivan Reitman. Passed away a couple days ago, pretty much right after the newest Ghostbusters came out. Very successful franchise. I believe 75 years old, if I'm correct. But Ivan Reitman, very sad. You get sad when you get like a classic movie. Like, all right, a lot of people are Ghostbusters fans, Ghostbusters junkies, people watch it a million times. Like, imagine what it's going to be like when George Lucas finally passes away. Even though he's been out of Star Wars for a while and he kind of sold it off, but imagine.
I just saw him in a celebrity car race, and he had such a bad accident. Like, he was doing the Daytona 500.
Really?
Yeah, he crashed his car, and then someone crashed right into his side. It's like, damn, they're going to do that to George Lucas?
Guess the force was not with him on that one.
Yeah.
I love it. Bear Rains in the house. Yo, good evening, Mr. Bear Rains. Always a pleasure to see you, my good friend. It's been tough to find us the last couple of weeks with prison. So many people are just afraid to buck the trend. Come find us on the other outlets. My feet are cold. I'm like cold. I feel like shit.
Oh. Well, who's celebrating your day? Give him a shout out. Give him props.
Good evening, Miss. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. I was only here for Muretta. I told her that Rita Loud's going to be on the show, and she is so excited.
It's really a big show amongst kids, which is very cool. And of course, that's one of the questions I'm going to ask, like how you go from like kids show to like dark comedy, like very weird. But that's Range Zone. That's very cool. I'm sick as a dog, Earl. Thanks for asking. I drank tea before I got on. Now I'm having one beer. Yep, Boss Girl, of course, is in the house. I saw Boss Girl getting down on Instagram to Billie Eilish. Seen her doing her dances.
Okay, Billie Eilish. Right, let's hit it. Say,
make sure you hit that like button in the face. Don't break your screen. Don't do it. I'm warning you. A warning. Take it personal. And make sure you go check out my channel, Just Being Wild. It will be probably like that much. Just shoved in a bit. Yeah, it'll just be shoved.
Oh, I'm sorry. I scratched you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
I'll put you on the scene.
And happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
You too.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Peace out.
Happy Valentine's Day. She is so cool. She is definitely like just like a little woman, all under control.
Yeah.
Excuse me, man.
As well as she could.
Right? Yeah, Muretta Moss. In a few moments, of course, Joel said from the Loud House series, and apparently it's a huge program with the kids on Nickelodeon and Paramount TV. So we'll talk about that, and she's got some new projects. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. She's very cool. That'll be coming up around 8:30. It almost didn't come up because I sent the message a couple of days with the link, and I just got a message yesterday from the PR firm said, "We got your message. We didn't get a link." That would have really sucked.
Everything's good now, right? I'm trying.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm trying to see comments, so they are coming in on the Jeff Joel page.
Okay, let's see if I can find some.
His brother, and then Fran Berry said,
Fran Berry.
You get one shot.
There it is. Yes, right now. There it is. Probably got sick from Big Rags. Big Rags wasn't there, so I didn't get sick from him. I'm at work. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. All thanks, Steph. Lovely seeing her this week. Very cool. My brother gave a pair of yos, and I missed them. Yeah, you know what, Fran? You're right. His words, you do only get one shot. He got one shot at the Super Bowl, and yeah, we'll talk about that later. Exactly. I was just about to say that same thing. I got a little word of advice out there. If you're going to, if you're gonna spam somebody, do it in like the language they're speaking. I mean, doing it in Russian doesn't help me one bit.
Maybe it was a fan. You don't know.
No, I could tell
Information.
when it says that something.com on it. It's a spammer. That ain't a fan. I mean, they're fans. I mean, spam people could be fans too, but
Bot fans.
I got a short fuse and I don't feel well. All right, let's get down to it. The moment we all waited for, the reason we come on, and the thing that pays the bills. Our very special guest is backstage as we speak. Outstanding actress, improver, writer, podcaster, you name it. Super busy, also super lovely. Let's give a big Yosho welcome to Miss Muretta Moss.
Hello. Thank you.
Hi.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you for joining us. And you know what I like? Usually we introduce the guest and we clap and they look and they're like, huh, me? You went right in, you're clapping right along to yourself.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
happy to be here.
I'm patting myself on the back all the time just to get through the day. So yeah, doing it.
Why not? The audience
Yeah.
gives me a yay. Everything's working out just fine. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us. Your great PR firm reached out and they give us some names, and I looked at your resume, so to speak. I go right to IMDb and I start running things down. I'm like, man, this is really terrific. And of course, Jewel has a young daughter who's very familiar with your show and your character, so she's gonna be popping in to say hi in a moment as well.
Oh, nice.
Fans.
So
happy
did
to
you
have
guys?
here.
Thanks for having me. Did you watch the movie, the Christmas movie, the live action? No pressure. No. I knew it.
No, I watched what I could. But no, they're such Loud House fans, and she actually became a Loud House fan for my nephew, and it's his birthday this week. So I wanted to see if you could just give me a little a Rita Loud happy birthday to a Michael who's a huge Loud House fan, if you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. Michael, happy birthday.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I did, however, check out, and like I said, we'll run through everything you do. I did check out the podcast. I was listening the other day and getting a feel for that, which was very cool, very, very deep, very informative. That was excellent. And I try to catch up as much as I can. I've been sick the last couple of days. Actually, gives me no excuse. Should give me more time to watch things, but I'm a baby when I'm sick. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, I was actually just talking to my partner about this. The man cold is like a very real thing. It apparently it hits you. I'll tell you
Very
what my
much.
friend said. My friend said it's, and this is I don't know, but like men aren't really allowed to show emotions. So when they're sick, it's like they get to like finally feel, and they just like let it out. And you can't.
Everything comes out.
Yeah, and they're hard to reach for an orange juice,
I had a moment. I was laying in bed. My two dogs were laying in bed. And my wife come in and said, "Oh, look at everybody." I'm like, "I'm sick." So I got my little emotion out. Just like that.
Talk it out. We have a show to do.
Yeah, no, exactly. Enough about me. No, we're good. So you're labeled as an actress, writer, improver, podcast host. We covered all that. Pretty busy. So what got you started in the acting and writing? What first got you into the dream of bringing characters to life? Because, I always get curious, what sets off the trigger?
I say that I'm a late bloomer because I feel like a lot of times actors and thespians, they like come out of the womb like ready to perform. But I was in college and there was a feature film that was higher budget that shot on campus, and signed up like as an extra on one day, and there was this like big just like quad scene, everyone's in just walking around outside in the quad, and I walked up on set and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I didn't know that this could happen. It like where I live, I just never been exposed to it. I definitely had just like Hollywood lens on, like it just happens in the screen and not something that was tangible. So I like really, really loved that experience. I started taking acting classes like outside of school. And like professionally, like I had taken theater classes in high school and even in college, like an elective was a theater course, but I just never thought that I could actually do it and as a career. And sometimes, I'm still not sure, but that's a joke. But and then I just kind of transferred schools so I would be closer to where my acting classes were, and then got an agent and just I learned that way. Atlanta was a small regional market back then, and now it's just really bustling. I went to LA, trained and studied there, and then came back to Atlanta because it's just such a bustling town.
That's really
Very cool.
And and how is like COVID and everything? Have you used the internet for? I know a lot of the actresses and actors we have gone on like, what do they call it? Auditions?
Virtual auditions only. Yeah.
Auditions. Is that happening a lot? I know it was a thing in COVID. Is that still happening? And do you still utilize just the online platforms for your acting?
I don't love it. I'd rather be in person. Maybe I do like not driving, but yes. So I've taken acting classes. Like I've coached, like I think for the first beginning of COVID when everything was really shut down, I got a coach and was just working every week on technique and prep. And then there's table reads we're doing. Everything in Atlanta was on tape already, like as how we auditioned, so it was pretty used to that. And then callbacks became on tape, and it's stressful because, as you all know, like the internet is not the most reliable at times.
No.
And there was a lot of like Zoom freezes, which can be very awkward when you're auditioning. But and then we just kind of, now it just seems like what we do. So it's kind of funny. Everything's more remote, but it gives us access to like bigger projects. You don't have to be in the room right now. So, pros and cons.
Yeah.
Good way of looking at it. I mean, there's definitely, like I said, there's some moments where the internet really lets you down. We've been there. But it's also very cool to bring somebody like you who, based in Atlanta or, some from California, whatever, to bring them in this kind of atmosphere where it's kind of like face to face. So I love that. That's very cool.
Yeah, and there's a project that I was a part of, I wrote on and, acted in and produced, called Intersection. And that was something we were scheduled to shoot, like as COVID was happening in March of 2020. And we were like, what do we do? Do we just do it or not? And we had no idea what was coming. So we just shut down production and then spent the next year rewriting what we had already like written. So in a way it made our project better, but definitely did like a writer's room. Like we were a couple days a week over Zoom. So I definitely had some Zoom fatigue.
Yeah, I think everyone's gotten to that point at some point this year. But then again, we loved it because it gave us a chance to still continue to see all of our wonderful guests and their faces, and we got to see our LA people, which we couldn't before. So yes, pros and cons. But we were going to ask you about intersection.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah.
But it's a dark comedy, correct? Could you talk a little bit more about that? Because it's an exaggeration of your life. Is that
a little bit? Yeah. So I play a real estate agent in the dark comedy Intersection, and I marry Margaret, and it's based on it's fiction, but it's also based in like some truth that I've had in my own life. So Intersection is it's about a neighborhood that is going through like revitalization and gentrification, and how it's a look at how it affects the people in this community. And as a real estate agent who was, I sold to a lot of artists and like independent like actors and actresses. So a lot of times this was in communities that were like, they always say that the artists and the gays come in first as far as gentrification, and then it just like then more like higher income happens. And so I realized that I've contributed to that, and it played a role in that project.
It's really cool. And you said it should be available, or you're looking at festivals sometime soon?
Yeah, so we're shopping it to festivals, or I don't know if that's the right word, so excuse my terminology, but it's out to festivals now and hoping for a big premiere, and then I mean, the idea is to get it picked up and then like make more. So we'll just see what happens.
That's really fun. I think that's my favorite genre, is like dark comedy. I love Dead to Me and Big Little Lies.
Yeah.
Is there? Do you have a favorite genre? And when you started acting, did you want to get into one section over the other?
I don't think I have. I'm not one like loves is like a favorite. Because I love comedies, but then you're like, oh, dark comedies, and I love like really good dramas. So I love it all. But when you say Pretty Little Lies, I'm like, yes, that. Because I do like the unexpected, like dark, and then all of a sudden, like you're like, oh, you're laughing, and I love the unexpected oddities that makes me laugh. So yeah. I guess if I had to choose, it would probably be a dark comedy, even though my dream would be a sitcom, because you get to perform in front of a live studio audience. I mean, hopefully one day, I guess that's going to happen again. So that would just be so fun to have this like ensemble cast and like acting like for TV, but then you get this feedback from the audience. So
Yeah.
Like a fan
that would be
show.
awesome.
I like that.
So, and I was looking at, I mean, the range of it, you're creating this dark comedy, you're part of the creative process as well. And meanwhile, again, as we talk about, the Nickelodeon show Loud House Christmas, which actually was like, got all these awards, and Deadline.com called it like the children's TV show of the year. And how do you set up for different ranges from being like a kids show kind of show to like a dark comedy? It's very diverse.
It is. I think I will be a more selective because I am conscious now about like being on a Nickelodeon like kids show, and kids really connect with it. It's got like a huge fan base. So I don't want to like say I won't take like specific roles that really inspire me, but I am aware that is now like part of my career, and I embrace it and love it. Not that would change anything with Intersection, the show, but just going forward, there's been some things that I was like, oh, I don't want that crossover, at least not so soon. So yeah, but I think it's really cool when I get to play like a quirky character and then get to do some deeper drama stuff in on other programs. So I think I'm answering your question, that I'm just like,
yeah, very good.
of my role now, and not that like anyone is beating down the door for me to do like super saucy stuff. But if they were, I would still be like, maybe that's not right for me, and stick to a little more family friendly, at least for the next future.
Yeah.
Don't have Mrs. Loud dropping an F-bomb anywhere quite yet. Mrs. Loud.
Going back to that, I have to say, because I'm such a Nickelodeon kid, 90s Nick cartoons were my thing, and I was such a fan of a series, the Avatar series, which was brought into live action, and I'm sorry to say, but was horribly done. It was just like, you have this amazing cartoon, and love M. Night and all, but he really just didn't do the cartoon justice. Now with the Loud House in this live action movie, people are raving. The fans are raving. They're saying it's so good. It's so true to the cartoon. And I just love that. And I think it comes down to like a great cast and the writing. Like if you stick to the comedy, and the comedy is the big thing in the Nick cartoons, especially, you have a winner on your hands, and they really did that right. How are you taking the feedback with the movie, because it's been fantastic?
Well, yeah, I'm proud of it. I'm really happy, excited to be a part of the ensemble, because all of my castmates are super talented. So it's like, it's a treat, and it really is lovely to be like, this is a project that I think turned out really great, and the fans are happy with. And there's so many people involved, because when I stepped on set for the first time, like the construction, like art department, they did so well with the set. Like it looked like the kitchen looked, I mean, a little bigger, I would imagine, but but it looked like from the cartoon. And then like our wardrobe, our costume designers were just like spot on, because we like stepped into these characters, and there was like makeup and hair and wigs and the costumes. So and the director as well, Jonathan Judge, he knew what he was doing, and brought us all to life. And I think he did an exceptional job casting, because there are, like, I personally in the show have 11 kids, and they're each very distinct characters. And so for casting, Cheryl Levine, like, she just did a fantastic job casting it, because those kids, like, sometimes when you like look at their headshot, you'd be like, that doesn't look anything like the character, and then you just like boom, 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 and there they are, like, they're stepping out of the animated series. So yeah, I'm proud. I'm still like tickled about the whole thing and how well it turned out.
It's really exciting, and it's so satisfying when they do it right and do a good job. So just congratulations on the whole thing. It's so beloved for so many people. So really, that's just wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Now, I'm sure it's early to know, but are they going to maybe do it every year with a new Christmas story for it, or just kind of keep that one and keep rolling it out?
I don't know. I mean, there's lots of speculation. If you had a show, if you had a show that did like that well, I think it would make good business sense to do something else. But you know, that, like, who knows what'll happen. And also this, like, the kids, they're actual kids, so like the live version, like, they might grow out of their roles. So
yeah,
they do. At least like the initial cast, which I would love to work with them again. So hopefully if something happens, they'll get a move on. But you know,
we need to see the kids grow up. You know, that's realistic.
Oh, yeah. What am I like? I'm so close-minded. Yeah, we grow in the live action.
What does the mom do with all these teenagers?
Oh man,
Pulls out her hair in one of them. Yeah,
that's acting. They also do. You also do improv, and I've always been envious, because I'm a guy who likes to think I'm quick-witted and funny and can adjust. But you watch people improv, and you're blown away. How do you prepare for that? How did you get into that? Give us a little in-depth look at the world of improv.
Improv, I kind of stumbled upon it. I was taking acting classes in LA, and I just needed like a little change. And I like Second City had like classes that fit my work schedule. And I realized that I loved it. It is something that is just so positive and ensemble based, but also like I took classes. Like when I finished at Second City, I went to IO West and went through their program. When I finished IO West, I went through Upright Citizens Brigade, UCB, and went through their program, because like you can't just take a class and then like be brilliant. It's a very like vulnerable, like I think performing is very vulnerable, because there's no script. It's just so much trust on your ensemble. And you know, I mean, things can go terribly wrong. Like it gets really messy sometimes. So I trained, and then I trained, and then I trained. And I mean, we were so like, when I found like my people in improv. And like one of my first classes at IO West, we formed a team, and we would get a coach and practice on like Saturday morning at like 9 a.m. Like that is how much like we loved it. We were no good, but we just loved it. And you know, I just think like for a bunch of 20-year-olds living in LA to get up and be there like as a team at 9 a.m. and paying someone to coach us, I mean, that's something that like you love. So have you taken improv classes?
No, I've been you get into some things and people ask you to do, hey, try this and this with me. Or, like sometimes my wife lays me out like, oh, go be over there and go be funny. And I'm like, how are you talking about? And like situations come up. Yeah, I could feed into that. But when it's something like, and everybody's kind of doing a kind of random script, I freeze up a little bit. It's tough.
Yeah, I when someone tells me to be funny, I'm like, no, I do not. I do not work on command. I have no idea how to do that. But with improv, I think it's the basis is yes and. So someone says something and then you just add on to it, hopefully like positively and like through like, relationship connection. And so yeah, but it's a mind training thing. I think it's good for like corporate. We used to do some corporate training things as well. Because I think it benefits a lot of different like facets of your life.
It's excellent. I got to try it. I will try it. But
you do it every day in your own life, the yes anding and stuff. So yeah, and you are funny. Yeah, you are meant for the stage as well.
He would be good because he's very quick with the replies and everything. I'm too slow for that, but you would excel at that.
I blush.
I wanted to talk about your podcast though, because I think that is just so cool. You have a co-parenting podcast. How's it going? Are you loving it? How is? I know you said you started to feel a sense of community. How's it coming along?
It is okay. Like I am so glad that I'm doing it. I've learned so much. But producing like a podcast, like a show, is like a lot of work, and it's just a lot of work, especially to get it to sound good. And I say like to talk in a complete sentence is sometimes challenging for me. And staying on track. And whenever I speak to a guest beforehand, I'm like, it's a mushy show. We like because sometimes I'm hearing information and it is different from what I thought it was going to be. Or a lot of times when it comes to step parenting, it's just depends on the situation. So there's not a set of rules that, we can easily go through. It's a little mushy. So, yeah, I'm really glad that I'm doing it and having that experience, but I think I need a little help.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
We have that because there's just so many times where we're going through things, and especially parenting, like you just feel like you're the only one, but you're really not. And if you just look a little deeper, you'll see like there are so many people who are going through the exact same thing. And especially with the past couple of years, just being locked down and together.
So close. Yeah.
It's been a ride. So I think it's good.
That's not perfect. It's great.
Bear needs his own podcast. He said only conversation with himself. Get him a podcast.
He's going to be. He's somewhat part of the show here. He chimes in excellently, and he is. He's become a big fan. He's always here. He recommends us to guests. He comes on with great comments. And like you said, there is more. Like a lot of people think, and like Tuesdays, we do our show Tuesdays live, obviously. And like Tuesday afternoon, people are like, hey, what are you doing? Let's go to the store. Let's go get something to eat. I'm like, no, I'm getting ready. Like, getting ready for what? To get on and talk and be stupid? I'm like, you don't understand. It's not really a script, but there is things to follow. Read your information. Your PR firm did a great job sending notes. And you learn the notes and get things to talk about and topics and things to keep people interested. And my brother's like, oh, I thought you just kind of flipped on the computer and start going. Yeah, no, it's just not that easy.
There was actual prep and preparedness that went into this. That's funny. Yeah.
That would be improv. Maybe an improv podcast show one night.
But so call me up. But that I think is also because there are those improv podcasts out there, but I really think it's more it's not as like all made up on the spot. I bet you they have an outline and things and do prep then, because that's what I realized. Like anything that I think is just like easy and like shiny Hollywood lights, like there seems to be a lot of work behind it all.
Yeah.
Oh sure. We we do like a rough drawing of a rough draft of it, and I basically type it out and I send it to Jewel and we just get on the same page. But I said without it, like I probably sitting there like, oh, it's Muretta Moss, like, how you doing?
Hey.
And then it gets awkward, and then people start watching. But
Well, I think people would tune in for the awkwardness as well.
maybe, I mean,
Yeah.
we've had
never
moments, we've had past episodes where, but that's the other thing too. And let me go back to that a little bit. Not to get too serious, because we don't get that serious here. But with improv, with podcasting, nowadays everything that everybody says is so under the microscope.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel like, do you kind of mentally train yourself in the back of your mind, think just watch what you say, just don't say this, watch how you say this? Does that come up often?
Yeah, a lot. And not that I have like very, but just you want to make sure things come in the right context, and so there's definitely like when I also want to be like portrayed as funny, so I definitely
Right.
like stopped like really tweeting. I used to tweet more but now I'm just like, oh, like, but that's this right now. Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is like it's not just where I am in my life, but where like society is in general. You just, I don't think anyone is like super paying attention, but just in case, like
Right.
I don't want to be the controversy or, get in a Twitter fight or something. I remember one time I like made a comment about like diversity in a group in Facebook of just like, we need this, and in the Atlanta community, and like it just, I think they were bots, but someone just like went after me, and I was like, oh, this is why but again, when it's important, I will speak out. But just having like my opinion is not that important in the world. Like everyone has their opinion, and my opinion does not need to be shouted upon. But what about you all?
I feel the same way because I rarely speak, and since the podcast, like, I don't speak at all, and I don't know, but that could be like a double-edged sword, right? Because you're not speaking out, but then again, it's like, does anyone really care about my opinion? And then it's like, well, I have a platform, so I should say something, and it's hard. So I'm like you, like I tend to just not do it for peace of mind, for my peace of mind and my mental health.
People say, like, people will ask me, like, you got this show and you get these guests on and actors and musicians, and why don't you ask them about their politics? Why don't you ask them about their outlook on? I'm like, no, because there's so much to know better than that. I want to know about how you got in acting. I want to know about your improv. I want to know about your writing. I don't really need to know who you voted for or what you think about that. That means nothing to me. You being you, that's why you're here. The celebrity, that's what we want to know. We want to know the creative person. And we're a show, we call it a variety entertainment talk show. We love talking about what makes you, in our eyes, great. We get geeked out for every guest. Every guest geeks us out because they're such talented people. And you included. You got so much more to talk about.
Yeah, thanks. And like, you don't want to, like, I think sometimes we have these judgments we place on like who someone voted for or not. And I don't want to know that before I know you. So,
right.
But all I know is like the TV land and the kids speak and they vote Loud House as one of the best shows out. That's what I want to know about. So do you like being like hands-on? I know you get a lot of creativity. Do you like being hands-on in every project, or do you like to sit back and kind of let somebody else create it and then dive in? What's your preference when it comes to, like I said, roles you choose?
I would say that I like to, I say this, but I also want more. Like, I like to just be an actor. I like to show up on set, like have the clothes set out. I love like go to makeup. I like it like kind of easy, and you can just be the character and the actor, and you don't have to think about what have you. Yes, I don't know what is Funko Pop.
These things, these many things behind me, all these different characters. Yeah, you need one.
Oh my gosh, I would die. I would die of joy. But I really love writing, and when I am able to write something and then have it, even though if it's just like shorts or like a web series or something, even though like I will have a feature made, I just have to.
That's awesome.
I like, it's so nice to like create something, like be part of the developmental process. Like it's really rewarding.
How long, or maybe not long, challenging, etc., can writing be? I try just goofing around and writing a little sketch thing, and I'm like, no. How do you timeline? It's got to be really difficult.
It is, and I'm a procrastinator, so
Same.
like I need like help. So I've found writing with a partner or a team is something that motivates me a little more, and like we are hold each other accountable. Because if it's just me writing, I mean I think I said for like a decade I was going to finish and write this feature, and I had to like set a date, and I was writing it like up the night before to make sure that I hit that deadline, and I had like a decade before to finish it. So
Until you don't.
yeah. But writing is the act of writing is difficult, but I'm an idea person. I love, like, let me give you an idea and you run with it.
Yeah.
That's ideal.
So what do you do when you're not writing, producing, acting, being a fun person?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I really love time alone. So sometimes just
So do I. I'm telling you, I hear it, right?
Yeah, if I can catch a nap, I will. But I think like so many like acting classes takes up time, rehearsals, and you can like fill your day with anything or nothing, and it seems to get filled up. So sometimes even just the running errands, like my car needs an oil change and it has for the last month, and that I like need that light to go off, but I don't want to go. Just like finding time to go sit.
Yeah.
What is that? 20 minutes, maybe 40. I don't want to do it.
It can take as long as an hour. I've been to business. It takes sometimes as long as an hour. And
Right.
it's a long hour.
My light's been on for a month, so that's really bad.
Awesome.
Your light's been on for a month too? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Next week on the Yo Show, Jeff teaches automotive repair class.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not with that with the procrastination. Like, and my wife says, like, what are you going to do today? Oh, I got to take out the trash. That's 2 minutes. What are you doing after that? Well, I mean, it depends on how much trash has to go out. And I'm canceling everything out kind of on purpose. But yeah, I'm there.
It's a good, yeah. Finally, it gets done. Yeah. Yeah. But I also like going like on hikes and stuff. I'm a big nature person. So
awesome.
If I can get time outside, and luckily Georgia has very, mild weather. So.
How is the weather right now? Has it been cold?
It's freezing.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cold here. I mean, not the same, but like we are down in the 30s, but lovely during the day. It was like 60 today, 63.
Wow.
That is cold. Well, you southern people, that is it's chilly.
It was 6 here. Oh, you said 60. Here's about 6.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Spain. It's very cold here. But,
What's your high? What was the high?
Today I think reached 16. I think today.
Yeah. It was
Do you go outside at all? Oh my gosh.
So
Let's go back to procrastination. Even my dogs look at me like when they got to go to pee, and they're like, "What?" Because they get all cold.
I take my daughter to the bus stop, and I'm like, I used to love the winter, and now my bones, I can feel it in my bones and my face. I'm just, I'm over it. I'm ready for spring.
Yeah, it'll be here soon.
Yeah, spring's nice. So at least we have.
We're excited for that. Is there any role or any movie you've ever seen or character, and you thought to yourself, yeah, I'd like to play that character, or even like remake a certain character from the past? Anything come to mind? You said, I always wish I could try or do that.
I mean, I always wanted to be like Elizabeth Bennet in Pride and Prejudice, but now I'm like I love Pride and Prejudice. Whether it's like the newest version of it, there's so many like mini series of it. I'm a big Jane Austen fan. But now, like all of the characters are more like younger, like ingenue age, and so that's like I'd be the mom, but the mom doesn't have a great storyline in those books, so that's like a little like pang of regret that I've never been a Bennett sister. But I don't know. I don't know. You know, when you said that, like, Bridget Jones came to mind. I'd love to play for Bridget Jones. But I don't know if. I mean, that's just like a silly thought.
But it's great though, off the top of your head. And that's the kind of answer I like. Because if somebody asked me, I'd be like, I don't know, Batman. They're like, dude, you're 5'7". You got like a dad bod. You're not Batman. And I just had to cross it off the list.
Dream. You can wonder. Get there
Yes.
one day. Oh, that's great.
Nice. I mean, I could see you having some kind of like superhero character in you. A Captain Marvel or something of that nature, maybe? No?
Hey. Yeah. I would. Who wouldn't love to be a superhero? So,
Right?
Yeah.
It's everyone's dream.
Yeah, to have superpowers. Yeah.
I'm like crying. So what projects are you working on now besides podcast?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's right now. It's a lot of like rehearsal and improv rehearsal and writing. I am like not working on anything currently, but it's going to be a great year. That's all I can say. Like there's like exciting things in the works, and it'll be, you know, I don't have anything to tell you like right now, though I do have some things coming out, but it'll be like, we have to like sign NDAs sometimes. So it's all just like a TBD.
We'll be following you on everything. So I'm sure
So we try to pry, but we're always told can't let the cat out of the bag. So, but that's why we put everything down at the bottom on the scroll. You can find Muretta Moss Instagram at Muretta Moss, IMDb, which is the source for all the movies and actresses. Search Muretta Moss, of course, and also your real estate website, www.morettasellsatl.com. Who the hell wouldn't want to buy a house from me? You're delightful. That'd be a great day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the market is challenging, but yeah, it is still a good time to buy. So
when is
outstanding? I know, right? Outstanding.
Well, yeah. When you're a realtor, it's always a good time for someone.
You're right. I would
True.
be. I mean, has anybody yet made an appointment to look at a house and seen you? I'm like, wait, I know you. Has that come up yet?
There has been times where I have been in the process with someone, and they've been like, I just saw you in a commercial last night.
That's
I'd be like,
cool.
Oh, yeah. But I do, as far as acting and real estate, I like put it in boxes. So I never, even though a lot of times I am selling to like actors and actresses or people in the industry, I don't want to, even though I love talking about acting, I really try and keep that professional and, you know, just because it's such a big purchase. I don't want to not, you know, it's already sometimes a balance between the two. So I like to just keep it focused on them and, you know, the market.
Until it comes to there, well, I'm not sure I'm ready to buy. Oh, you don't want to buy it from Muretta Moss? That's fine. Don't buy it from me. And then they stop and wait, what'd you just say? I'd be doing that all the time. We want to thank you so much. We'd love to have you back on when this when Intersection comes out and talk about more stuff you got going on. This was absolutely great. We actually ran past our allotted half hour, like it flew by like nothing. No, that's on us. Like, we have all night, but I keep you all night. But I want to thank you so much for coming on. You're absolutely lovely, and the stories are great. You made us laugh and very informative.
Likewise.
And again, everything down the bottom. Check it out on IMDb to check out the latest when the new movies and TV shows come out. Intersection, of course, is coming out soon. Can't wait to see it. Muretta Moss, thank you very much for sharing your time with us. Have yourself a great evening.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
much.
Lovely. Absolutely lovely. Just like you suspect. And when we get signed on to these guests, you do a little research and you start to look at the roles they play and the pictures they take and the stories they tell, and like, yeah, it's gonna be good. And she was great. Like, I'm laughing and when somebody's got that much range, I said, to make it laugh and to keep it informative and have a good time, it's wonderful. And she was great.
She's amazing. What a doll.
I know. I looked and I'm like, oh my God, it's already like 9:02. And it's not that we're on a time frame where we have to cut it. But like I said, when we ask PR people, when we ask guests come on, say, hey, give us about a half hour of your time, which some people, I've been told before, like, wow, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It never seems like a lot. It seems like it goes by in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, and it could be a long time or it could go quick. Like we're just having a fun little conversation and then it's over. Like tonight. Like it's a dream to have a great guest and she was just amazing and it's just so cool. I was talking to my sister about her earlier because, her son is just such a huge Loud House fan and I'm like, I love like anything to do with the cartoon world, especially like my cartoons like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. Like I just think it's so cool. Like what a fun job.
Moonroof in the house.
Moonroof.
Speaking of a great conversation, went really fast. The guys from Moonroof, they were awesome. They've been on our
Yes.
show in the past, and we'd like to invite you guys back. And we definitely got this summertime, get out and see you guys live.
Yes.
Great band, great group of dudes.
Yeah, live
Awesome
interview.
interview, great show. We appreciate you guys popping on. And yeah, I mean, we really, it flies. We get lucky, and I said this is I even lost track, 184th episode, and I continue to make the joke. We're undefeated, 184-0 with terrific guests and great interviews and great time. And like I said, when you're on the show, you kind of become family. Like Moonroof, I follow you guys all the time. I watch your stories and see what you're up to and enjoy your music still. And I got your music downloaded, and you start to really get into it. And now, like, you see people like when you see Muretta Moss, like, oh my God, and Roger Dorman, who was on the show, you see them acting, going, oh my God, no, and I talk to them and all that great stuff. So it's very cool.
Absolutely. I just love all of our guests that come on and she was just such a great one and what a fun time.
Yeah, I know. It's
you barreled right through your sickness and had a great time.
right.
Had laughs.
And the wife said that. She's like, yeah, you're sick now. Once you get on the show, it's all going to go away. And it kind of does. You get so much into the moment. And I don't want to say I wasted that 30 seconds about why we don't do politics and all that, but we do. I like knowing what she's all about. I don't need to know what influences her to be away.
I loved her explanation though, because that's exactly how I feel sometimes. It's just tough, when you have people that actually listen to you and you have to like kind of tread carefully. It's like, what do you do? And sometimes the answer is do something and sometimes it's the opposite. So I feel her. I thought that was a great answer and made me feel less alone.
Absolutely. And I'm not dwelling on it. I'm not telling people how to think and don't take it out of context. But when everybody's about, like they're mad at Joe Rogan for COVID misinformation, I've had COVID. I thought I had it again today. If I'm sick, I'm not listening to Joe Rogan's advice on COVID or vaccines. I'm going to a doctor. Thank you very much. People take that a little too seriously.
Yeah, we can't say anything about any of that stuff without getting someone mad anymore,
Absolutely. Speaking of saying stuff that gets people mad, the time has come. I mentioned to everybody, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl halftime show. Why this year's Super Bowl halftime show was a major letdown. I put it like that so know if anybody happens to come across it, they're going to come after me. And man, did I get ripped on Monday. Woo-wee! I was called many of things. I was called angry. I was called old. I was called racist. Everything. Because
why were you bashing it so hard? I don't understand.
Here's what I really don't like. And I'm going to be very blunt about it. Rap music is supposed to be, and correct me if I'm wrong because I know you're a big fan, rap music is supposed to be the epitome of somebody grabbing a mic and just kind of improvising it and spitting lyrics and dominating. And that was what rap used to be, like rap wars and just getting on and laying it out. What I saw was some of the legends of rap music, lip singing, poorly lip singing, no movement, like very little involvement. It felt so flat when it had the chance to be massive. And like I said, Eminem got one song. Pretty much everybody really got one song. I was waiting for them to all share a song and fire back and forth and take turns singing, even if it was lip singing. None of that happened. Nobody sang. The best part of the whole bit, which people laughed at me, was Kendrick Lamar. And going in, I knew very little about him, but he had a team that came out and they danced and he moved and he actually looked like he was singing. Everybody else was just kind of holding that mic and rocking their head back and forth. It's just, it didn't do it any justice. This is the first rap one that's going to be monumental. Honestly, if I'm a legend like Dre, Snoop Dogg on it. I was like, look, here it is. Cut out the pre-recorded shit. I'll produce it. We get a little mix going on, and we just sing. We do it for real. And I think more that I'm bashing into disappointment. I'm not a rap guru. I'm more of a rock guy, metal guy, as you all know. I just think it really lacked. And Mary J. Blige falling down, and everybody made a big deal about Eminem taking a knee. Nobody even knew what it was for until after the media said it. And everybody says it's for Tupac. He took a knee. Nobody even knew until they had to make a big media splash about it.
Yeah, and I'm watching that. I didn't think it was. I thought he was like, in the song, like.
Dr. Dre walked away. He walked away from the piano too fast. That live band, the guys act like he's hitting the cymbal and the cymbal's not moving. I look authentic and
wait. It was Anderson Paak. He was really playing.
Are you sure about that?
Mary J. I felt like had a backing track, but Snoop and Dre and Eminem and Kendrick all rapped, and 50.
I don't think any of them actually sang that. I think it was all lip sync.
They don't sing. They rap.
I didn't think they even generally rap because it's kind of obvious when you're running back and forth and you're huffing and puffing. You can't sing through that. You'll hear it, and I didn't hear any of that.
The oldest artist that ever came on. They were all, the oldest, and I don't know. I didn't like the song choices. Like
no.
I like Dre and Snoop's. I thought, Chronic was cool next episode. But like why didn't they do the next episode with Eminem? And why didn't I don't know. I don't know. They were trying to pay tribute to Tupac, but it just didn't pan out. And then why didn't like Busta Rhymes come out or something and do the song with Mary and Eminem and then a big song together? There were so many songs that could have been done together and not just like Lose Yourself.
Right.
I thought that was the only weak part about it. Like, really? That's it? Just Lose Yourself.
You get a crowd hype. For me, again, I'm not a huge Eminem guy. I don't know all his songs, but play a song like Without Me and get something like fast paced and moving, get the crowd up a little bit.
Nostalgic, like that's what we wanted the show for, to go
right. And the only thing nostalgic about it was the faces and that whole stage setup. I didn't get. Was it a club? Was it a big producing board? I couldn't figure out what it was.
They tried to say that it was catering more to the television audience, like boxes, like
really?
It was in a box and it looked like the music video. I don't know what they were doing on the roof of it. That didn't make sense to me. Kendrick was cool.
I liked Kendrick, and I'm not even a Kendrick fan.
Kendrick guy. Oh, he's very good, but Dre and M discovered him and signed him, so I thought that all fit. I just didn't. I don't know.
Now I remember, and times may have changed. That I don't follow it as religiously as I do some music, but it was always an East Coast or West Coast. 50 Cent, like. I want to know if Ice Cube's phone rang because I'd rather have Ice Cube there than 50 Cent. Now, am I right or am I wrong?
I would agree with that. Yes, and there was no NWA reference or anything like that, which made Dre and a lot of people were upset about. 50 didn't have to be there, and 50 got the most shit for gaining weight, which is wrong. Wrong, people.
Right, he is big though, but come on, body shaming like he's not like a 21-year-old kid, I was a little disappointed by him in general. It didn't seem like he was singing. Yeah, he was big. The whole upside down thing, I didn't get any of that. I would have rather have had, like I said, I would rather had Cube or, somebody like that.
Ice Cube would have been fun. Ice Cube would have been fun to come out. And it, it didn't have to be all in the Interscope family. Like Busta Rhymes would have been cool. Or like a shocking performance. I love Mary J, but I didn't think she did that good of a job.
I thought Mary J was horrible. I thought the outfit was horrible. Like, me. I'm all about the knee-high.
Yeah,
I'm all about
that song, though, at the Super Bowl. No More Pain. Like,
yeah. I'm all about thick thighs and high boots, but I wasn't digging it. Like, oh, Mary. And then she fell by accident or fell on purpose. Or she fell. She's laying on the ground.
She's like screaming.
Yeah, she's like laying on the ground.
I don't know.
And
it could have been
again,
better.
but
I agree, it could have been better. But
yeah, it could have been a lot better. I'm going to say a lot better. A lot better. And here's the thing. And people say to me, well, who do you want to see? I really don't know. I've kind of given up on thinking about it. And then a lot of people are like, oh, Metallica. I would love that. But I don't want to see them come out and not play and not sing. I want to hear them get into the guitars. I want to hear live music. There was no live music. I was so disappointed. I was very disappointed. I was hoping that they would each take turns rapping and yeah.
I just don't think they have the setup, I guess, to go fully live at the half and then bring it in. Maybe
I guess not.
That's why. That's why we need like dancing and booty like Shakira.
Oh, that's one of the best of all time, right?
That's a show.
There's a show. That's a show. But even like, I forgot what the hell I was going to say.
Go ahead.
Yeah, if that's the case, then don't try to blow me away. Like, give me acoustic. Give me a popular band playing acoustic music and strumming and singing. Or if we're going to do rap, give me one little guy mixing and one guy singing.
I agree. It has to be like pump up, get you hyped for the game. It can't be like Cry Me a River. Britney wants to do a collab with Eminem because of the halftime show. Did you know that?
I also want to do a collab with Britney. Very sad news. There are 3 new Britney Funko Pops that went up today for pre-order, and I didn't get any of them.
What were they?
There's one is a an album cover, like a One More Time album cover, and a little Britney figure, like an album piece.
On her weird leg movement, like her legs back?
No, it's just kind of like there. And the other one is like
you know what I'm talking about with the album, and she's got like her legs.
Yeah, she's right. She's sitting kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. My brother, yes, there's one. No worries. He said no beer tonight. I'm a little sick. I didn't think I was going to have one beer. I'm kind of making my way through one somehow. And the other one is neat. There's 2 of them. One's a regular, one's a chase. One, she's got like a black hat on and a whip and like a little like kind of tight outfit on. It's pretty cool. They're cool. I love them, and I thought I had every Britney piece, but now back to the drawing board. So I try to get every Hendrix piece, and I try to get every Kurt Cobain piece. But there's a Kurt Cobain piece out there that's worth like $300 or $400. I don't see that happening anytime soon.
What is that one?
It's the one. It was a FYE exclusive, or no, not FYE, or a Hot Topic exclusive. He's got the big white sunglasses. Really cool, but it's like $300 or $400.
Good. At least it's not the one I bought for.
Well, I'm glad I saw this and didn't come up on the regular comments. I got to see it on the side. I got my Sixer shirt on tonight, of course. As you know, we'll touch base on that real quickly. That the Ben Simmons era is over. He's out of here. Sixer went and acquired James Harden. Got rid of Ben Simmons. Bye-bye, crybaby Ben. But I just found out they were losing by 42 points in the third quarter to Boston. Celtics 98, Sixers 56.
Wow.
Ouch. I mean, ouch. Whew. Did not need to see that. But again, and and I got a lot of heat for it about a year ago on this program. I sat there and defended Ben Simmons and freaked out and said that he's going to turn it around and let's not give up on Ben Simmons. And now he's gone because he's a crybaby. And see you later, Ben Simmons. Put on a little flyer. Ben Simmons' era is over. Sixers acquire James Harden. That's that.
Are you happy about that?
I'm happy. Yeah, I like James Harden. Very good ball player. Simmons, like I said, quit. Had no desire to play here. And the thing that you might appreciate, and I'll give you this, and it's made a lot of people mad. He kept saying like, oh, I can't play. I've got a mental illness. I've got mental issues right now where I can't play. And as soon as he's traded, he's calling the other team, hey, I'm coming in. He's talking to Kevin Durant, crying about, oh, I'm so happy I got traded. And people who have serious mental health issues are like, You asshole. Like, you use it as a trick to get traded. Now you're traded and immediately you're fine. Like, that's a dick move.
Oh, he's a terrible person.
He really is. He became a terrible person. You're right, Bear. Bye-bye to the crybaby. And he became a crybaby. He's a grown man making all that money and dating supermodels and all this. And it's nothing more than a jerk. It's 101.56. We're getting absolutely trounced.
Wow.
Wow. So if you're watching the Sixers game and you can hear me, turn it off. Come tune in to the last 40 minutes of the Yo Show. I'm shocked to hear this story. I got to share it. And I don't know if you have any new news on it, whatever, but I've been reading it a lot lately. They're suspecting foul play in the death of Bob Saget. They're talking like head trauma, and one doctor said there was several wounds that were similar, like a guy getting hit with a baseball bat. And there's people saying maybe he was jumped, attacked. I know in the past, and I don't know it that well, just from hearsay what you read, that Bob Saget had, kind of a wild lifestyle in the past. And people say, it seems like he hit his head on the headboard. I mean, was he getting down with somebody? Any ideas? Because this is getting crazy.
I don't know how that would happen. Like multiple injuries on your head. Like I could see one big one, but yeah, how does multiple happen? So that's so sad.
I know, and the toxicology report said, no drugs. Okay, so that's not a factor.
He was on good terms with everyone. Like everyone just loved him. He was in a good relationship, good marriage. I don't know. That's really sad. I hope they find out what happened, but I don't know. People are like, let it alone. Like, why do you need to know? But well, I guess if it's a murder, you have to know, right? Jeez.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it's wild because it went from, of course, the conspiracy came out. Oh, he just got his booster shot. Now he's dead. Come on. And then it was, he had a heart attack and then whatever. Now it's this. Like, this is scary.
Yeah, it was sad when it was just blunt force. It's like, oh, bad accident. But now it's like, what the hell?
Right. Did he slip and fall and hit his head, or was there somebody in there? Scary, man. Scary. Poor Bob Saget. We never guessed. Let's talk about the halftime show. Oh, we did that already. Digging in you. When did you watch the halftime show? When you got home, or did you wait a day or two? Or
I watched it as soon as I got in from the Billy concert. Yeah, I was going to watch it as it was live, but I had because first of all, Willow Smith was supposed to open for Billy, so we were really excited because I love that girl. She can sing. She has such good songs, and she's so talented. So I was really excited for Willow Smith, but then she didn't end up coming. It was this girl, Dora Jar. So cute. She's like, who she reminds us of? Reminds us. It's a Me and Duck. she looks like and talks like Anna Faris.
I love Anna Faris.
Very spunky and jumping all over the stage. So she was cute. So yeah, in between her and Billy, there was a 40-minute intermission. I was trying to watch a halftime show there, but right when we got home.
I was wondering because I was watching it as it took place, and again, knowing that you are a huge fan of Eminem, etc., and I'm watching, I'm like, man, I got to find out her opinion on this because it was kind of killing me. So I was really curious what you thought. And
I was getting texts. My sister's like, "Are you kidding me? One song? Like, seriously? They could have gave him at least 3, I would think."
The worst part about it is the next day. Now, all right, I gave my opinion based on the overall performance. There's people like, oh, they didn't curse. They said mother stinking. And what they say, MF Dr. Dre. There was MF Dr. Dre. Like, dude, you're not allowed to curse. I don't care who's performing it. That's nothing new.
He said Dr. Dre, young bucka or something.
Yeah, something like that. And there was like, oh, I can't believe you didn't curse.
You're not allowed to.
It's TV. I mean, all these years later,
Janet, like you can't.
Right, all these years later, we're still talking about Janet's nipple. And you want these guys to start cursing? Did you see the picture that came out of Snoop Dogg token while he was on stage?
He was.
He was. They showed him.
Well, that shit's illegal. I mean, legal in California.
Some guy puts, "Oh, I'm no longer a fan. Snoop Dogg smokes blunts."
Where have you been?
Rock person. Jesus Christ.
Good Lord. You know Kendrick is 5'6".
Yes. He looks so funny next to everybody too. He really is
That
tiny.
had to be like the #1 search because everyone was like Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Height. Because his dancers were 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
and
I
above.
thought it, but it was kind of neat though how they pretty much hit him while they were dancing, and then he pops out like a Jack in the Box. But
Yeah.
I thought he was the best one. And like I said, I don't know him that much. I liked his
And he
performance.
has songs with Eminem. Like there could
Yeah.
have been they should have let me just orchestrate it. Okay.
Exactly. Next year, I expected more. There was something else I wanted to get to with Super Bowl. Our good friend Mr. Kanye West was at the Super Bowl, and it's like some people just like to continuously step in shit. You see a pile of shit, you step in it, you wash your shoe off, you go away. He shows up to the Super Bowl with Antonio Brown, who is like public enemy #1 in the NFL. It's like the weirdest, most bizarre cat, and people haven't forgot what he did on the field.
He loves doing that though. He showed up to places with Marilyn Manson right after his controversy. He just likes the attention.
But what was the deal with him putting the mask over his face? I heard he was getting booed relentlessly.
He should have been.
They said he was getting booed very badly. They should have a show halftime show. You're damn right.
You won't leave Kim alone. When have you ever felt bad for Kim Kardashian? I feel bad for her.
I feel bad for me not getting a little bit of that. I still think she's sexy. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says.
She has Pete.
She's still poor thing. But the funny thing was like the yellow tablet that all these people were making memes on, and the one me, Kim, Pete, and his face is scribbled out. One had him drawing a picture of Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
There were so many good ones, and like I gotta show you, like the Spider-Man one's freaking hilarious. I think I see
really
it.
has no shame.
And white.
Stupid.
It's so stupid. It's funny, but he doesn't have any shame. And he's himself. What did I say?
What?
You said, isn't it Jessica Katz? What did I say?
Oh, you said Lisa.
Oh, damn it.
I'm sorry.
What is it with me? God. Notice I never say Ron Russell's name on the show anymore. That poor guy.
He did put on a great live show, though. I will say that about Kanye. Eat my veggie chips.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's put it this way. Apparently, any female in Hollywood is going to dating Pete Davidson eventually. I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Really, like, so unattractive. He did this one interview where he was...
I would go out with Eminem.
Oh, of course. Heard he's dating Jason Momoa. They did like an interview with him. And he was like drinking. That's how he sloshed. He's like, at the end, he takes like a big sip. I'm like, all right, dude. But I guess he's on top of the world right now.
And he was just joking about, like, I don't know.
He's getting more ass in the toilet seat.
She's a smart girl. Like, I don't know why. She made sense going out with that guy from CNN. I thought that would be a good match because she's all into politics and helping people. And seriously, I pictured her with some kind of political figure.
Really?
After Kanye, yeah. And she was like, she had a little like flirtation with that dude, so I thought that was going to happen.
My apologies to Jessica Katz.
Van something. Anyway,
right. Let's get on to. Is there something else to get on to? We got other topics. This one, for some reason, I feel bad. I guess I shouldn't because I guess we kind of had to expect some of this. But the new Playboy Mansion series is really all about just clobbering the persona of Hugh Hefner. They had one of his former girlfriends on the last episode, And she called him a controlling monster, said he forced her to have sex with other guys, and he was into bestiality and doing weird things with the dog. And oh, my life was, she said, life was lavish, but I paid a price. You you're talking to Playboy Mansion here. So number one, the fact that you're mad at him for talking to other women, kind of weird. Number two, to not expect weird shit. Have you caught any of this? I've been because I caught little bits and pieces of it, and I'm just floored at how awful they're making him out to be.
I have a confession. I used to watch Girls Next Door, and recently I watched all the Girls Next Door again, and I watched The Secrets of Playboy, this documentary, because I was so I'm like, I have to watch to see, because I was like, Holly was the perfectionist, right? Like, she needed everything perfect. She thought she was going to marry him, have his babies when he was 80 years old. But yeah, so I watched the Girls Next Door, and then I watched the Playboy one, and Holly's like, explain how she had Asperger's and she didn't know how to act with people. And, she said you can tell from season 1 to season whatever, 6. And all of these women came out, though, and said all this stuff. And it just seems like a Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein. Like, he was very, very powerful, connected.
Yeah.
The one girl wrote a book. It was like something bunny, something. And he went and he found out every place she was interviewing at and had her like blacklisted from everywhere.
Wow.
So he had that type of power. He was good with the royalty in London. He was good with everyone. AA listers.
Yeah.
And had in every single city, New York, Chicago, LA. Like, he was so connected. Europe, London, like, he was all over. So it doesn't surprise me that all these women are coming out now, because he was just trying to protect his image, protect this brand, that he built from. Playboy, it was art. It was a movement, of these.
Yeah.
Was it women's lib? Was it, misogynistic idealism? Like, what was it really? And it could have been both, right? It could have been,
Yeah.
you're a sexist pig, or it could have been, freedom for women and expressing themselves, whatever. So I had to watch everything just to get a take on it. But I think he's disgusting and foul, and I can't watch him interact with anyone because I just get sick, because I just think he's a creepy man who got to do anything he wanted.
Yeah, it's amazing now looking
I started
back.
with a good idea, but like, it just went too far and too skewed and too power hungry, And
that's possible. And it's hard to have all that, not so much all the women, just all the money and the fame and knowing all that, and to just go and be like, do whatever you want, or whatever. Yeah, there's got to be a level of, laying down a little bit of a law, but the she was saying how, like I said, he would bring strange men in, and he would watch her have sex with these strange men. And she said, like, he was so weird. Like, she'd walk in a room, he's like playing with the dog's junk, and he's like, animals need love too. And how much of it's real, because he's obviously gone, and his family has no more connection to Playboy. I think they're out of it.
Yeah, no, they're done with it. So no after, no kid has that.
It's crazy. Like, it's crazy. And it's funny because he was just as bad as a dude from Hustler magazine. And the reason why I put that comment up, Hustler is a lot dirtier, obviously. Playboy magazine it's about breast and body and face. It's not about deep, not fake pics. It's not about deep vagina shots. It's not about like weird positioning. It's not. I mean, it's about like it's a beauty. It's an art form in such photography. We've had guests on our show in the past who've been in the magazine. I won't mention names or anything they said, but some of them say, you do it, you get some fame from it, and then you want out of it. You don't want to be that the rest of your life. You don't want to be the girl that's getting naked, or the one that's going to act and, hey, get naked. I'm all about getting naked. You do it for a little bit of notoriety, you do it for some money, you do it for some fame, and it's got to be kind of a flattering thing to say, hey, pose for this big magazine. But hearing what these girls are saying, it became a 24/7 lifestyle. Like, you're nothing more than a bunny. You're kind of like a character. You're not even a person.
Yeah, she
You know what I
couldn't
mean?
cut her hair. She had a curfew. She couldn't do anything without him. They weren't allowed to have other men and whatever. Just weird rules. Like, you see her in the show and she's always calling him. Like, wherever she is, she has to check in with him like every hour, whatever it was. He's just I don't know. He's just always there.
Yeah, which is bizarre. And to read the stories. Usually I love docuseries and stuff like that, and I haven't really caught it, but you always catch the roundup on one of these apps the next day, and I'm just reading it, and I'm like, woof, Jesus. And, it's a conversational piece. But yeah, right. It's a shame how some girls were shamed after they posed. And like I said, like the one girl who was on our show a few years back, before the days of video, just audio. And she said, like, that became my life. Went to a movie role and it was get naked. I went to be this. It was like, all right, get naked. She's like, I'm not all about getting naked. Like, I want to be real. I want to be taken seriously. And she said a couple of big name Hollywood actors who were in the same movie took care of her. Come here. And they told the set people, hey, this scene is going to be a topless scene. It's brief. Get everybody out of here. Like, she said there was weird guys who weren't even involved in the set, were involved in the scene. They all just started crowding around because she was going to get naked. And she said two very big-time Hollywood actors in the film told these people, look, get the hell out of here. If you don't belong in here, get out of here. And they kind of shot in a secluded spot where only her and maybe a cameraman and one or two people saw what was going on. So, yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be a label. You do it, it shouldn't be like it shouldn't be like the rest of your life.
He also he had those clubs and he just let stuff slide. Like, even from 50s, 60s, like that Don Cornelius, he kidnapped two girls and tortured them, and then he was back in the club the next week. There was so much stuff going on. We don't know half of it, and how many people got shut up and everything. And then it was right before he died was the whole Me Too movement, and he was just next. Like, if he was younger and had a couple years left, but
yeah, as we say, everything, of course, allegedly, that we weren't there, but you hear a lot of stories.
Oh, and Cosby was there all the time, and I watched his documentary. Whoa, proof every year.
It's that good.
No, it was sick. It was how America just loved this guy, and our parents loved him, our grandparents loved him. And every year there was just horror stories of all the women he did stuff to, and they were there, and all their accounts and everything. It was just sick.
Yeah, he was like king of the world at one point. Like, his show was so big and his character was so big,
but he was always welcome up. One of the things that Playboy did was allowed black entertainers to come in and just play, because it was at a time where they were segregated.
Yeah.
So he did do a lot for entertainment in that way, but it was Cosby, though.
Yeah, right. And I heard, it was funny because years back I worked at a car dealership, and one guy came in. He used to run the body shop. He came in. We were talking about random things, and Playboy came up and he's like, "Yeah, I was at the mansion." I'm like, "Where?" He goes, "Yeah, I got these 2 tickets to go to a party there." And he said, "I got to tell you, if you're not somebody, it sucks. These women don't want to know that. Yeah, I work in a body shop. Like, they want celebrities and they want to be discovered and known." And it's like, he said, I sat there and what's that?
That's why they're there,
Yeah, he said I sat there and talked to nobody. I talked to the guy I went with. We didn't talk to one girl. We didn't meet any celebrities, and if you do, they don't want to talk to you. He's like, it's a very weird atmosphere. He says basically it's for the celebs.
Ew. And I was watching the show, and it was Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio, and they showed up in these creepy masks, and it just creeped me out because it's like, what are you doing?
Not Toby. Oh.
I know. We all know Leo's been.
Oh, Christ. Leo. Leo makes Pete Davidson look like a choir boy.
Yeah. seriously.
Not Toby. Oh.
Ew.
Then we're going to do the other 999,999 people in the multiverse.
Yeah.
Jesus
good.
Christ. The multiverse is exploding. Now,
Oh,
Professor
okay.
X is supposed to be in it now, and Wolverine's supposed to be in it now. And
I want to, I really want to see Batman in theaters. It's only out in
yes,
theaters. We should
if
all
you
go as a
can.
big group.
Yeah, we were trying to get a big group. My buddy Christian wanted to get a group together, and
Oh, cool. Let me
I think
know.
that's cool. I really want to see it.
We should go like a movie tavern where they have like drinks and stuff.
Yeah, because and again, I'll get on that. I know we've touched Batman here and there, and I'm a Bale guy. I know you're more the Keaton era. And when it was casted, like when this one was casted, I'm like, what? This is gonna be so bad. But the more commercials I see and the more stuff I see, I'm like, all right. Even the dude that plays the Riddler. Now the actor's name escapes me right now. Give me I have to look it up.
I gotta look it up too. I love Zoe Kravitz though. Did you see Kimmy on HBO? She's
No.
a great Catwoman. It's really good.
She looks good. I like. Oh, it's Paul Dano, and I can't believe
I
that's
love
him.
I
Oh,
love
he's
him
great.
so much.
And you look at him, and you're like, that's
Ah,
not him. And then they play a scene, and you hear the voice, and the costume is very cool. And there's a lot of people saying like it almost got like an R rating as like a horror movie because some of the stuff is that scary.
Is such a good actor. I love him in everything.
I heard he's phenomenal in this role, and Riddler's always a tough role. Joker's one thing, and Joker's always been, it's been critiqued. Like Nicholson had his style. Heath Ledger, of course, legendary. Joaquin Phoenix wasn't really the same Joker that we're used to, but also played a good, like kind of sadistic Joker. And then, of course, what's his name? Got trashed for his Joker.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto got trashed for his. It's a tough role, but they say the Riddler's so much tougher. And everybody asked Jim Carrey how he did such a bad job. It's the Riddler. But this one.
You get more Riddler than Jim Carrey. He's like the epitome of the Riddler.
But this one is so different, and it's scary. And they said he's sadistic. Like he's not just.
I love scary.
I'm gonna
Batman
get you,
though.
Betty.
Batman is so dark. Like it could go that way. It could go very cartoony, but it could go so dark. And I just always loved the detective comics. That's what they were called, and they were just so dark. And Batman's not, an alien. Like he's just a guy who could fight and
Right.
And
that's why, like in all the movies, Keaton's Batman was a little eccentric with some of the things he had. Bale's was cool, but the tank. That tank was like overwhelming. That Batmobile, though I love it.
You saw Bale fight like Ra's al Ghul, like you saw him train and everything.
Yeah.
Scarecrow was very scary. What's his name from Peaky Blinders? Like, yeah,
I love him.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, not to change the subject, we're on Batman. I could do this all night. But Peaky Blinders, they announced that it'll be out in the UK first, as it does, probably around March or April. And then it comes to the States a few months after. So we're probably later in the year. And Jewel Tatey, I don't know if you read it, last season. This is it.
Oh, a Peaky Blinders?
Peaky Blinders. And I love the show. Very excited for its comeback. It's Cillian or Killian, I don't know how they pronounce it, Murphy. Who I think is phenomenal. And he's got that great face structure. He's a splendid looking man. But he's a great actor. I love his stuff. I like his drive. He's great as Scarecrow. And they're saying this new Batman movie is going to focus more on the mob. Like Franconi is very pronounced. The mob is very pronounced. Riddler's almost like they don't know if he's a mobster or an anti-mobster or just total destruction guy. So it's got a lot of different directions. Very exciting.
Yes, I'm excited too. I do have to catch up on Peaky Blinders too. But yeah, I'm down. Let's do that. Movie tavern. Get a group going.
I'm into it. Definitely into it. I'm so down. Like I'm so excited for it. Even the Batmobile, which I've got. I don't think I ever shared. I got the Funko Pop. They got the big Funko Pop, the Batmobile, and Batman in it. And I recently bought the new Batmobile. I don't know where I put it. Anyway, it's cool. It's kind of like it's like a Dodge that's like souped up with like some gadgets. Really cool.
Shit, that is cool. Did you see Little Caesars? Now they closed the one, the only one I knew of. I walk in and they're like, we're closed forever. But they're coming out with like a Batman shaped pizza, like the Bat.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh God,
I need to get one of those.
I love Batman. We'll hit that real quick. Got a few minutes left. We ran out of topics. We hit them already, which I was shocked. Obviously, we go with our three favorite superheroes. And I go Batman. Of course, I go Spider-Man. And I'm telling you, through the years, I'm barely hanging on. I'm barely. I go with Superman, but I'm barely hanging on.
Yeah, I do love Shazam. Did you see?
He's
Shazam?
cool. No, I didn't. He's cool in a way, though.
They're coming out with Shazam too, and Hawkgirl. I love Hawkgirl. What's that say?
He's got a souped up Dodge van. That's I call the Batcave.
Scary.
Yeah, creepy. Creepy blinders.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, top three would definitely be Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
I'm a big Wonder Woman fan. I hate to keep trudging through it, but that's the only DC movie I enjoyed. I like Gail. I think she's great. And I thought the movies were better than Batman's or Superman's.
I love the storylines in the cartoons, like going back to the Loud House and Nickelodeon and getting it right. Like, I don't know why DC cannot get it right. You have these amazing comics, all of this material to work off of, and you cannot get it right. I don't think it's
Even like you mentioned, you mentioned the Christian Bale movies and the Ra's al Ghul and the training, and they improv the story a little bit or changed it a little bit, but for the most part, that's where he came from, the League of Shadows. They do a great job. Stick with that. Don't
stick with what works.
Right. Don't stick with, well, one day he got bitten on the toe by a bat and decided that he wanted to get a bunch of gadgets and be a Batman. Like, don't do that to me.
I love the origin stories. And I just love Joker as a standalone movie because it was a phenomenal origin story. Like, that's what drove him to insanity. Like, it's just great. And
You mean the Joaquin Phoenix?
yeah. And
Now,
and it was different, of course, but like,
yeah. Is that
I've
Joker
seen
going
that
anywhere though? Is he going anywhere besides that movie, or is that it?
I
Or is
don't
that
think
just?
so. It was just brilliant standalone movie. But
It was.
the real Joker story, I think, in the comics is, his wife and unborn child get killed, and he just spirals, and that's how he becomes a bad guy.
Yeah, every movie does it different. Nicholson got dropped in acid. Heath Ledger, his father tore up his face, and he went psychotic. And
Yeah. Also terrifying.
yeah, like his Joker gave you chills because that's a guy you just didn't want to run across that guy. There was no surviving running across him.
Yeah. But Injustice, it's a new movie they have on HBO, but it's based on, the comic, and then they made the video game, which is awesome because you fight each other as DC. In DC, you're not allowed to kill each other, right?
Right.
There's no murder.
It's the code, right?
In Injustice, Joker makes Superman kill Lois and his unborn child, and Superman goes berserk and overthrows every government. Superman wants to be in control, and he's God, and he's controlling, and the Justice League are like, what are you doing? And Wonder Woman actually stands by his side until he goes off the deep end. So
Wow.
it's a little scary.
But it's creative. See, if you're gonna change it, don't change shit like they stopped fighting because their mom has the same name. Like,
Martha.
Mother, come on, man.
What did you say?
What was it?
My mom
You
is
talking about
gone too.
you talking about my mom? No, I'm talking about my mom.
Terrible.
Wait a minute, your mom's name. I'm watching this unfold. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
What did you say? What did you say? Like, mommy, like you wouldn't say your mother's name.
I know.
Whatever. It was just terrible.
Mommy.
Mommy.
I love my mommy too. And mine's name's Martha. Get out! Like a movie like that, like Wonder Woman would be like, you two guys fucking serious right now? You're gonna kiss and make up over your mother's first name?
Yeah, she ain't got time for that.
Yeah,
So
right.
funny.
I don't know, but I am excited for the new one, and I also like the fact that they were. I say smart enough. Some people might disagree. I think they're smart enough that they left the Joker alone. That they didn't come with the Joker like most do, because he is jokey, funny. People go to the movie, hear him laugh, and watch his antics, and it's been done with so many funny antics. Even the Dark Ledger one had funny moments. This is dark. Like, even the Penguin, he starts out as Cobblepot, and he's like a gangster, and it's dark. And Riddler is a guy, like I said, and all geared up in leather and a mask on. He's dark. So, yeah, it's not your campy cutesy Batman movie. It's
just so crazy.
I think it's called The Batman.
The
Am I correct?
Batman. Yeah.
The Batman. Yeah.
But
Even that's awesome. The Batman. Like,
yeah, that is pretty cool. Bats. But I tried to watch Batman. It's Batman Returns, right? With Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Oh God.
And Michelle Pfeiffer. Well, I tried to watch it with the kids. It's like my favorite. You know, it's what I grew up on as a kid. And the kids are like, "What is this shit? What is this?"
It is such a bad movie, and
I love it.
you feel bad for Keaton because, and that's why after the second one, he's like, "I'm out of here," and they came Kilmer and Clooney, and even like Mr. Freeze. Everybody chill, like. Come on.
That was terrible. That's hard to watch.
Yeah, they're all hard to watch. The original Batman, the Keaton one, I can handle that.
Mm.
I like all the Bale ones. Because all the Bale ones, I thought all of them were good. Even the Bane one, terrific. Again, creepy storyline, but good. And the Ledger one, of course, was fantastic. The first one was great.
They're both in Peaky Blinders too. Bane and Scarecrow.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Scarecrow.
It's scary. Oh, and The Rock is going to be Black Adam. I'm excited for that one. Hopefully,
That's-
Hawkgirl will be in that.
That's cool.
Maybe.
What's that?
Hopefully, Hawkgirl will be in that. I know she's like connected to the Martian. I don't know.
Yeah, they're moving people all around like I said, Professor X. And now I haven't seen yet, and everybody says, "Oh, if you saw the commercials, he drops." It's Wolverine, but they haven't said it's going to be Logan or Wolverine. Like, I don't know if it's coming out like Logan style with the full getup. They don't know yet. I'm excited for that. People said that Deadpool is getting little drop-ins here and there. Like, he's going to sneak his way in. I blame Doctor Strange, man. He's letting everybody in.
Yeah, seriously.
But it's cool. The crossover's kind of neat. I'm excited to see it. We'll see.
Well, we need something because Marvel is
Yeah.
my Marvel team.
Marvel. Well, now they're coming out with a. I don't know if you heard this one. I get to read it a lot because with the Funko Pops, keep up with the Marvel universe. My buddy Christian reads them all. They're coming out with a new show or new movie with Iron Man. And he's being played by Tom Cruise.
Come on, man.
Tom Cruise
Yeah.
as Tony Stark
Nope.
/ Iron Man. And I'm
Nope.
like, that's Robert Downey. Period. And if it's not Downey and you want to do it 10 years down the line, maybe, like Superman. Forever for me was Christopher Reeve. They waited a long time to make a new Superman. I'm okay with that. Iron Man's a couple years gone. Now you're going to sneak in like Tom Cruise and start over? No.
About that because literally, I mean, Tom Cruise was her favorite actor, but I don't even think she would want Tom Cruise as Iron Man. She's such a Marvel fanatic. Like, no, this is going to be a problem.
No.
Don't agree.
What's he going to do for a suit? Wear a soda can?
He has to be like a little young and hip, and I don't know, like, why? It's just
I don't like it. And that was some of the knock that we said when it came time to Batman. You had to have somebody that could be Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Right.
George Clooney was a horrible Bruce Wayne. Val Kilmer was not a good Bruce Wayne. Keaton handled
You can't just have like a hot guy and expect it to work. Like, it has to fit.
I mean, that was that. I could be Batman. Like I said, like Bale played both parts great. That was a great Bruce Wayne, great Batman. Keaton was a very good Bruce Wayne. He was a little out there in his own right, kind of did it his own way. That was cool. It was good Batman, but you can't just like you have Iron Man with a bad Tony Stark.
Man, they were doing so well.
I guess Marvel had enough of itself. So let's start ruining this shit, shall we?
Yeah. Let's just make a couple more bad shows. Actually, their shows have been good. I haven't watched them all because I'm just behind on everything. But yeah, I heard they're taking down all the DC shows off of Netflix. All the Daredevil, all that crap. Arrow.
Now, rumors are all ending up at Disney. Disney's buying them all. I don't know how true that is either. I don't know.
Disney already has Marvel.
I know.
And Six Flags has DC. Six Flags.
That's weird. On some comments comes up Bear, and every year comes up Earl. He says Tom Cruise sucks, and he'd like Ben Affleck as Batman. I didn't hate Ben Affleck as Batman. I hated the stories. Martha.
No.
Yeah.
I
didn't like.
Affleck. I hate him. I hate him as a person.
No Ben Affleck. Huh. All right. So next week, I know things are a little screwy next week. I do apologize if I got this wrong, but I believe next week on the show on the 22nd, we're going to be joined by singer Harrison Barnes, another member of the Impact family of artists. I got to just double check that to be sure because I know we mixed around some dates. Supposed to be Harrison Barnes on the 22nd, musician Questa on March 1st, Chalet Nicole on the 8th. Just got to double check that, make sure all that's correct because I know we mixed around some days, times, performers, but always check out our site. Don't forget www.theyoshow215.com, Instagram at theyoshow215, Facebook at the Stoop Radio Network. We'll line it all up for you. And I advertise like crazy once I get back to my regular Facebook. So we will keep you up to date with our great guests. A huge thank you to Muretta Moss. Don't forget to check her out. There's so many great things in the latest. Loud House, of course, is the big show right now, and the kids love it. And I got to ask my brother if his kid watches it. If not, I got to get him on it. This way you can check out Muretta Moss. She was excellent. Thank you again for coming on the show, Muretta, and joining us. We had a great time. Jewel, as always, thank you. And I know earlier today when I told you I was sick, you just said, let's cancel. And yeah, I can't. I need the Tuesday nights.
I didn't say that.
No, you said something along like, do you want to or do you want to bag it or whatever? And, I trust me, it's a big piece of me. It's like, I don't even know if I can do it. My wife said, don't do it. I'm like, I can't not do it. I love this. I love Tuesday nights. I love the guests. I love the audience. Come check it out. I love hanging out and chatting with you. So it's great. So I'm starting to feel like shit again, knowing I'm about to go off the air. But it's all right. Enjoy. Thank you again for being outstanding. I truly appreciate Tuesday nights together.
I know, and thank you for being a trooper. And yes, you could be in the worst mood and then come on and have a great time. So I'm glad you did. It was a great night. And yeah, let's keep rolling.
I agree. I agree. Hey, we're going to take you out with the music of St. Ricketts. Hello to the fellas out there, John and Eric, Tom, Kenny and Anthony. We love you guys. We can't wait for new stuff.
Play a show,
again,
guys. Gotta come see you.
I know, right? You were talking about it again the other day. I played it again in the car on our way out. My wife's like, how did you come across these guys? Like,
We'll walk in and they'll play our theme song.
Yes, and they'll announce us, and everybody will be like, who the hell is that? It is us. Yo Showingtons. All right, so let's hit it. But fire cannot burn. Don't forget www.saintricketts.com. Get the latest updates, new music coming out, and check out their music on YouTube and Apple Music and all great places. Somebody asked me last week, like, where's the new album at? I love the guys. I'm just not their spokesperson. I wish I was. I'm kick ass. All right. For Jewel Tatey, I'm Jeff the Shark Perini. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock.
Bye.
Bye, Z. Bye. Bye, Z. hell's that? Volume up. There it is. Jesus.
Was it truly blessed if the taste of it poisoned deeper than you know? Kindly answer this. Was the point of it just to reach too high? Oh. So I'm pulling the anchor and drifting away, blinded by reason beyond disarray. It's what fire cannot burn. It's what fire cannot burn. Wanted to embrace what it takes for it, pouring something to the world, willing to erase what I'd lose for it, to accept what I assume. So I'm pulling the anchor and drifting away, blinded by reason beyond disarray. It's what fire cannot burn. It's what fire cannot searching for something, destined for nothing, moving a potion over and over. Truly blessed if the taste of it poison deeper than you know. Kindly answer this. Was the point of it just to reach new heights of love? So I'm pulling